Previously on Ship Happens.
We started the work on the deck. So, first off, we cut the deck off and got 2 new beams fitted onto the boat. Then we done all the packers and copper nails that were required, got it all sanded back. Now it's time to move on to the next step.
Right, today we're going to be doing the longitudinals. Not sure if that's what they're called, but that's what we're calling them. Basically, the plywood comes to it, it gives us something to screw to. We need them to run down with 4-foot centres. Right, let's get on to it.
But first, let's see if my peel ply works from last week. So, get rid of that protective sheet.
So, is that actually works right, or is it wrong? Do you think we didn't put enough? I don't know.
Well, it was only really just to keep it smooth, wasn't it? So it didn't have loads of sanding to do. We've never used it before, but let's have a look. Oh yeah, it is flat, look.
Good job.
There's like no sanding to do on that, so that saves me like half an hour.
Well, obviously you can't really see it at micro level, but it's textured.
Yeah, it's like an 80 grit sand.
Right, so you can now technically paint straight over that if you wanted to. Or...
Yeah.
Awesome. And it gives you like a non-slip as well. A non-slip platform to walk on, which is good. Right, so what we're going to do, obviously this is the original longitudinal PC Mabobby thingy that we're making up names for. And I think what we need to do is cut a section of this deck out, because this deck's too low. Our new one's going to come up high, but we're going to leave it as long as we can, so then when we do the aft part of the full deck, then we can then join it here. So let's get rid of that and then we'll work out our lengths.
Don't cut through any wires or cables.
About there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That feels like a join, that's not bad. It's like a seamless line.
So are we joining the 2 together?
Right, so we've got options, haven't we? We've always got options. We can either just butt join them. Bear in mind, there is something else to come later. Or we can put like a big sort of long scarfy bit, maybe. Or Gemma's idea was...
We could do some like...
Gemma's idea was...
We could do like a fancy like joint that they're like, so they lock in together. If we were proper woodworkers.
Do you want it to fit?
So
you want it to fit, don't you?
I do want it to fit, but
right.
You don't think we should do something like fancy and clever?
What, on all of them, all the way down? Right, okay, so all these pieces they're doing, they're basically carrying the extremities of the ply. On the original boat, it was like double diagonal, so that was the longitudinal structure. Our ply is going to be the structure fore and aft. What's going to be happening is these are coming along here, then we've got some more pieces which go underneath, which go in between all of the beams all the way down to basically give it some meat. We went slightly thinner on ours so we don't take as much structure out of the deck beam. So I think as far as structure here is concerned, not massively concerned, are we? Oh yeah. So I think to make our life simple, we're just going to cut it on an angle like that on a new piece of gravy. We'll draw underneath it, we'll cut that. Then when our piece goes on underneath, that'll link them all together with loads of epoxy and sticky glue.
Good old epoxy.
Good old epoxy.
Right, okay, let's get that done.
Right, let's go and cut some material for these longitudinals. We've already got some nice super long lengths, haven't we, Jem?
Yep, ready to go.
So I left these long. I didn't really want to cut them in the workshop because it meant potentially cut them in half or something like that, but I knew they were going to be far too long. But by the time you cut them, you don't want to cut them too short, do you? Right, what have we done now?
Set up a little place so you can rest your wood outside because these lengths are that long.
What will the neighbours think? Gemma just went, uh-oh, as if we didn't have enough room there.
Never have enough room, like half you would dangle out your boat, half of it's smashing into things there.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Right, so I've clamped up my PC there, so what I need to do now is draw a line there, a bit of a triangle line. I'm going to cut both material at the same time, and then I'll mark where we would need to notch out in the beams, and then once we take that off, then we can router them out, and hopefully it'll all fit perfectly. And I've got a fly in my brew. Got him. Obviously the flies around here like cups of tea. So now when we router these out now and it drops down, these two will match perfectly. Right, so I've got these marked out now. So what I need to do now is run the router down them to generate like a cutout, don't we, so we can put this piece in. So what I've done, I've made a little block with the same offset for the router cutter. And put that in. I set it so it's halfway across the line. And clamp it up. Right, so when Gemma did a really rubbish job of like varnishing, she left little drips here, see? How dare she? So we're going to take the drips off, because when the router runs over it, we want it to be like nice and smooth, don't we? I think the file's a bit fine for it. I think we could do one of the other kind of files. What are them really coarse files called?
Bastard files.
Did you? I said this to Gemma earlier, she went, I'm going to check that.
Hold on, let me check. Okay, he was right.
You need to be careful when you Google who's file, don't you? So that's a bastard file, big angry one.
What was that one? Falling file?
Falling file. Oh, look at that.
That bastard does the job.
That bastard's great. Just sort of. You should always, with a file, just run it that way. Run it. Not like that. That was like one of the first lessons I had in college though. How long did these beams take to make?
Oh, don't mess it up.
Okay, not out of the woods yet. Let's check the depth. Use this piece that we cut off. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Flies.
I was going to say there's no flies on you, but there was.
Flies on you. Right, so we've now got the two bits cut out. So that gives us our whips, our extremities. That should be pretty right, that. Now we need to machine the middle bit out. Right, so it's come down quite nice. A little bit of circly, squirrely motion, but we can sand all that back. Nice bit of sawdust down there. Like that. Come on. Well, I think the battery's dead. Nice fresh battery. Did it get you?
No, but didn't sound too nice.
Right, so we'll give this a quick sand and see if the piece fits. Quick sand. It's like a brand new one. Like a glove. Slight little air gap there.
It's not an air gap, it's an expansion gap.
That's what all woodworkers say, that I left that for expansion. Simple, like you cut it wrong.
I've got a lot of hoovering to do down there, dear.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that you enjoy hoovering, so. Let's check on the widths. Yeah. I'm not finished yet.
We've not finished, but it's so important to clean as you go because we're generating so much sawdust. I come down a minute ago and I was like, what's that smell? Now I know the router always smells a bit, but it was a bit more than that. And I found a little, I'm not going to say a fire, but a little smouldering pile of sawdust. And obviously, if we don't catch that early, that could progress into something worse. And we don't want to burn the boat down. So I know we've still got the other side to route it, but obviously all the dry sawdust is just fuel for the fire, isn't it? So I'm just going to have a quick clean up as we go.
And before we leave, we're going to give it all a hose down.
Yeah.
Maybe even a bit quick jet wash. Right then, it's another beautiful day. Right, what we did yesterday, we cut out the notches there and there, so we need to now put some more longitudinals in. Right, so they seem to fit quite nice. I think what we need to do is drill them, and then we'll take them back off, and then we'll epoxy them, and then screw them up. Masking out the beams, because Gemma will probably get very upset if we get excess glue everywhere. She did a good job of these though, didn't she? Right, so it's all masked up. So we're going to mix up some epoxy now. And then what I'll do, I'll put you on a time lapse because it's hard to like, we've got to move pretty quick. It's quite warm today. Yeah, I've only got sticky fingers and stuff, so let's get these glued in. Right, we've got these glued and screwed now. Very good. What I've not done is screwed this piece here just yet, or glued it yet. Because what we need now is some pieces to go underneath them. The reason them pieces are there, so between the beams, give it a bit more strength between the beams. It originally had these longitudinals down the boat, but it also gives us a bit of meat so we can get like a decent screw through the ply to hold the ply down.
So our extra internal bits for the longitudinals, I'm gonna put a nice little edge on them so they match sort of the radius of the deck beams too.
So 4, 8, 6. 4, 8, 6. Right, let's get these fitted. I want to make a wedgie shaped one that goes basically under there like that, which fits quite nice. So we're going to be epoxying these on as well, and we're going to be using some screws, which the screws are going to get left in, so we're going to leave them on the extremities, so predicting where the screws are going to go for the ply. Stick an arrow in it in case we get confused which way it goes. Right, let's get these glued. Mixed up a batch of West. I don't think we need loads of glue, do we? So I think we've got the perfect amount of squeeze out. It's always a good sign. Get a bit short on the old epoxy, so we don't want to throw too much in it. Right, I'll do the rest of these now and then we'll see what's next. So what do you think? Inspecting. I might have got a bit of glue on Gemma's things. But today is another day. What we need to do today is clean up my I was going to say something rude there, my mess there. And what we need to do now is put the nails in the knees. Right, so now we can nail these knees now. So we didn't put the nails in on the previous episode because we didn't know where these pieces were going to go. And it does turn out that one clash is here. So what we need to do now is drill all the way up, put some big nails through, and then rove them. I may have got some epoxy on Gemma's beam.
Hold on a minute.
So hold on.
Hold on a minute. Not just epoxy. You put a little chip in it.
Well, in my defence, I thought I'll just knock that bit of epoxy off because it'll come off the varnish dead easy. And if I could suck half the beam with it.
Men. So I've got epoxy drips on it. And look. Do you know what? The only saving grace that I'm going to give you here is that it's facing that way.
Yeah.
And not on this side where
Can't see it from it.
But will you be more careful next time?
Well, basically, human beings learn by error, don't they? We do a quick test here, and then we learn all that way down there to go. By the time we get right to number 12, we'll be brilliant at this.
It's a good job we're building an old boat and not a brand new luxury super yacht, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine.
It just adds a bit of character.
Just wants a bit of sand. Well, the way I see it, have you finished doing the coats of varnish on that?
No, and it's about 3 more.
Oh, there you go. So.
Yeah, but I'm not going to build up 3 more, like...
Yeah, you just...
It's fine. Right, we're doing a good job.
Nailed. Right, so from the underside here now, nails there, big clamps on. Knocky, knocky, knocky. All goody.
First copper nails into knees.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to look like.
Maybe like this. Because we've already...
Don't lie, see?
We have already done the other side. So they're going to look like this.
You've spoiled the illusion for people now. I feel like I'm taking your job here, Gemma.
I know, yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Well, we've got to give it now the broken look. That's the distressed look we're going for. Right, move on to the next one.
I think we are officially ready for the ply. Now that's not going to be as easy as it seems, so come back next week to see us finally get a bit of a deck on the deck. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for your support to all of our patrons, coffee members and YouTube members. See you all next week.